Boom! What's going on, everyone? This is Steve Larson. Welcome back to the Your Final Offer Summit, where I am asking marketing experts what they would do if they were about to lose it all and they knew that. How would they structure their final offer to sustain the rest of their life? I have on with me a very special guest and dear friend of mine, someone I look up to a lot. Nicolas Bayerle is the man. I actually have a little intro here. Nicolas Bayerle is the CEO of Billion Dollar Body and the creator of the Billion Dollar Body Brotherhood. He is the host of the BDB podcast, an international speaker, and author of The Modern Day Businessman, which is his most recent book, which everyone should go get it. It's awesome. He went from obese college dropout to fit to creating a 7-figure business, healthy and married to the woman of his dreams, Amanda. Nicolas was named he was one of the top 30 under 30 influencers. He's been featured in numerous media outlets such as Forbes and has interviewed some of the top entrepreneurs. He lives by the philosophy that your network is your net worth. Nicolas resides in South California and is passionate about his marriage, faith, family, friends, and giving back to those he can help. Man, thank you so much for being on here. Welcome, Nicolas Bayerle.
Well, thanks, man. And you kind of gave me a flashback there because when I went to the school and I was walking across stage to get my diploma and they said, Nicolas Bayerle from Canada. And they read California wrong. And in front of everyone on camera, my only time I graduated from something, they said I was from Canada. I was like, now almost South Carolina, it's like,
oh, man.
I really appreciate you having me here, man. And I love stuff like this because these are the moments where life can change forever. Just the thought process and being able to see a clear path. And I think that's the benefit of us. When we've done something before, we know we can go do it again. And it's so clear how to do it. And other people, it's like there's a blinder right over your eyes and that kind of gets unveiled in things just like this. So thank you.
I appreciate you taking the time. I guess for those who may not know who you are and what you do, could you just tell them?
Yeah, definitely. So I was a kid that grew up in a normal middle-class family, but my dad and I had a big falling out, which caused me to go into depression. I didn't really like myself. I stopped taking care of myself. I gained 60 pounds. And it was really interesting that I believe that your internal thoughts will cause external actions. And so though I would say I liked myself and that I cared about myself, I wasn't doing it through my actions. And it made me so self-conscious. I didn't want to put myself out there. And when I started investing in my health, all of a sudden I realized I didn't need just the six-pack and the biceps. It was the actions and progress that I was making that gave me confidence, connected with my father, went out there and met my wife, got married, and it opened a whole new realm of problems that I had no clue how to create an income. I had no clue how to provide, which again just made me go back into this place of feeling powerless, making me feel like I wasn't worth anything. I spent 3 years. I only took myself out to lunch 3 times. I still struggle with eating alone because I don't feel like I'm worth investing the money in to eat, even where I'm at today. It's still this weird belief that I've had. And so over the last couple of years, through being able to solve these 3 core problems myself, we help men become a 3-dimensional businessman. It's the 3 areas that you physically can't outsource. You got health, wealth, and relationships. I always say that no one's going to eat for you. No one's going to move for you. No one's going to have sex with your wife for you. And no one's going to go out there and build your mission and vision and build your irresistible offer, an evergreen model that's going to be able to work forever. So if other people aren't going to do it for you, then you should probably get good at these things that you cannot outsource. So we do that through live events, educational workshops, educational platforms, and also coaching to make sure that these guys have contextual answers and the community to make sure that they can sustain the results.
And you're amazing at it. Just so everyone knows, you're a thought leader, I'd say, in this area. Very, very impressive with it. So I guess onto the topic of the actual summit itself. In this scenario, you're sick, right? The doctor says you can't work in 90 days from now or you're going to die, right? You have one last shot to make an awesome, cool final offer. What would that be?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And the first thing that I would look at that I don't think many people will talk about, I haven't seen everyone that's going to be talking, I hope this is a little different, is the first thing that I'd want to look at is I would look at past trends of what's happened, not just recently, but in the past 100, maybe even 500, maybe even 1,000, go back 2,000 years. And I try to figure out what are the commonalities of the problems that humans have been trying to solve over and over again, or where have they invested their money over and over again, even in a down economy or even when things change, right? I wouldn't come out with how to apply a Facebook pixel because in the future, then something might go on where Facebook just automatically puts a pixel on any landing page or website or anything. You see what I mean? So I wouldn't do anything that would only last for a very short amount of time. I wouldn't say how to start a podcast because things will change and it just won't work in the future. So when I would look at what I'm going to be creating and what I would create, I would look at the things that, okay, for me, I know my men, I know what they buy right now, but I also know this place of loneliness, confidence, and marriage and relationships are three core areas that men have struggled with since the beginning of time.
Mm.
And so, to be honest, in my wheelhouse, if I had to create one core offer, it would be around how to find the woman of your dreams and sustain the relationship. Because this is something that people are going to be Googling. This is going to be, or whatever new platform comes out in the future. I mean, this thing will ride forever,
Right.
forever, ever. And I know that because I also look at, there's one page that has one sales letter for marriage. The guy's dead now. And this company still does over $1 million a year organically from this guy that put together this little PDF on how to fix your marriage. And this thing still, to this day, makes 7 figures on a broken old sales page, and the guy's dead. So I know it worked for him. I know it'll work for me as well. So that's at least the topic, the area that I would start at. But the point of that is to not, like, I would not create an offer that will come and go based on like what's trending right now. I wouldn't go, okay, fidget spinners, that was amazing, I'm going to do fidget spinner funnel and I know that it'll just keep sustaining. Well, that's gone now. Fidget spinners won't sell. But what have humans been buying over and over again? And I really learned a good example of this from Bart Miller. Bart created the #1 makeup school. And the best thing that he did by that is, one, he saw that women bought makeup in World War II, even when they had no money. So we saw that they would spend money on it, even when they didn't have any money. That was great.
Wow.
The second thing that they would do is that makeup trends have come and go, and you'd have to change the course and change everything inside of it if it changed with the trends. But there's a foundation of makeup that stayed the same since the beginning. And he focused on the foundations that will not change. So now he doesn't have to do a bunch of rework, and he has something that people will spend money on, even when things are hard. And I believe that in the marriage and finding the relationship, it's the same thing.
That's amazing. Yeah. Cause I mean, everyone wants those things, and men, especially, obviously, I'm sure that's, you're targeting men. I guess, how would you find guys that are looking for that? I know that it's an active thing that guys look for anyway, but how would you stand out in front of that crowd and say, you know, I'm over here, here's my final offer, you know, and get their attention?
Absolutely. So the first thing that I would create is, just as you would say, irresistible offer, but I would do it inside of a free offer to be able to gather people's information. And the places like, I wonder what I can set up right before I die. But there's, the cool thing is I can set up a team before I die as well, just so everyone knows. So heads up. But the big thing that I would do is I'd find like the evergreen platforms and the evergreen places that I could actually post content as well. So the first thing that I would do is make sure that I'm at every platform that has a lot of discoverability and searchability. So this would be optimizing on Google, and this would be optimizing on YouTube. Those are the core places. Now, if I can have a team, then I'd make sure that I have the best marketing minds to be able to make sure we're buying paid traffic. The second thing that I would do is figure out who has the biggest network of people that need this product or service. And I'd make sure, but the irresistible free offer is going to be the key. So I had done this in the past with testosterone. I got on a podcast that was all men, huge, 300K people listening to it per month. And I remember just thinking, okay, I need a new free irresistible offer to just like segment the people that I want that want this testosterone boost. So I would create the same thing when it came to marriage or finding a woman, because it'd be 2 steps, right? So the first thing would be like, I would talk about how there's a formula to be able to find, attract, and keep the woman of your dreams. And I actually put it into a simple PDF that if you just follow it step by step, you will see the results dramatically in your life within the first 3 months. Something crazy, right? And I'd be like, I could explain all of this on this YouTube video, this show, or anything like that. But what I did to make it simpler is if you just go right here, you can grab it all 100% for free.
And that lets you start building a list.
I'd build a list and I would segment a perfect audience. Now, I would have 2 different split tests going on. I'd have one that would go to a training after that, as soon as they opted in, to a training that would then sell a digital product. And then the second thing, I would try an app straight to an application with a sales video and testimonials of other people that we worked with. And I believe that's one of the most simple things that is so overlooked. So many people try to think of like all these low ticket offers that they can do. That's like, okay, if I have this like I have this free offer, and then I can have this like 47 or 297 thing. And then they're like running traffic, and they're like so scared because they're like their ad budget, they're just getting past 297, and then they're at 500 and they haven't made a sale, and they're like, do I turn them all off or do I keep going? Whereas for me, when I can first make sure that I put in a little bit more effort right before I die, put in a little bit more effort right before I die to really get to know the audience. And the way that I can do that is by segmenting them, having an application, and inside of that application, I have more room to fail because I can sell a higher ticket item. And on top of that, I can actually overcome objections that they may have and save those objections for my evergreen sales page.
Fascinating. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what I love to do to this day. Like if right now, like if I wanted to sell anything, it would all come with that irresistible offer on the free offer, and then an irresistible offer on the sales page, talking about the results that they would want. They'd fill out an application. I'd get on the phone, and I would be like, I would know that I get applications for 30 to 50 bucks, and I could fail 100 times and make a sale and still be okay. And that makes me feel really good about like myself, because I don't have to like be that good at anything. 1 in 100 sales isn't that good. That's 1% close rate. You're good.
Yeah. Yeah. 1 in 100, and the price point justifies so much of the activities, the ads making you money. So you're gonna have a digital product. So let's just recap. So you have a free PDF, something along like find, attract, and date the woman of your dreams. You're gonna go put it on tons of platforms. Make sure that you get awesome people to drive ads as well, and then also go to influencers. And that front end PDF lead magnet is like, you're farming out the list. That's, you're building out the list there, and then basically you're going to push them to the number one digital product and or the high ticket application.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And I want people to know that the evergreen content will be me or the things that I've come up with to build value for the free offer or the paid offer before they ever get there. I'm not like having the influencer take a picture with it and be like, get my like thing about how you do this thing.
Yeah.
I want to actually have a joint conversation with the influencer to their audience about this specific thing. And so I kind of want to show how I've done this before real quick.
Yeah,
because
love
it's
it.
not just theory, is that and I'm far from this thing. I got invited to speak online virtually on Zoom to photographers that wanted to grow their Instagram, to grow their photography business, that were almost all women. So I'm like, okay, I work with men, and it's definitely not in photography. I don't have any photographers, maybe a videographer, but no photographers. So I'm on there and I'm talking all about how they could increase their prices, first off, and two, like not come across like everyone else selling a la carte services, but create an irresistible offer so that they stand out in their marketplace and people don't have a price objection for their stuff. Because everyone that's shopping around will be like, how many photos do I get? How many edited photos do I get? How much time is there? Like, it's all these like stupid things that everyone will relate to you and compare you to everyone else. So I was trying to like demystify all that. So they were like, okay, like, can you show me how to do this? And I was like, okay, how about this? How about me and the guy right here that's putting this whole thing on? How many guys would be interested in this if we rented a house for 3 days? We'd limit it to 20 slots per event. This very first event, this is the only way it's like this. In this event, we're going to show you how you can actually bundle your service to make it an irresistible offer, guaranteeing that you'd at least be able to double your prices and make your first sale in the first 30 days, or the event is actually free. So either you make more money than the event, or the event's going to be free for you and you get to keep all the tactics and everything. And I want to show you the exact scripts that you'll use in Messenger, in your contracts, and on the phone with the people to actually make the sale. So I'm like, I had gotten to know these photographers on this Zoom call, and I was seeing like these commonalities of issues and beliefs, and not being able to express themselves creatively. And they had fear around offering things and people rejecting them. So all I was doing was like, I was basically building the value through the things I was teaching. And then I was like, okay, what if we did this in a foolproof system for you, that if it doesn't work, you literally lose nothing and you get to keep everything, right? So like I had risk reversal. It was an irresistible offer. And I was like, and it's only $1,000 for the first 20 people right now.
Right.
And all these people, I have screenshots of it. Send it to me, send it to me, send it to me, send it to me, send it to me. And the guy's like, okay, like the guy who had the like actual Facebook group was looking at me going, dude, why did you make like, you're not supposed to make an offer on this live call. And I go, guys, what do you, no,
What are you
that was the
doing?
example. Like that is what I was trying to show you. And a lot of it's what I learned from Steven is like, I would make sure that on these trainings, on this evergreen content, that I'm building value for the thing, not when I'm explaining the thing.
All
I
right.
want them to already have value for it. And I've now created a new problem and I solve that new problem that I've created with the paid product, right? If someone didn't want a relationship because they didn't think it was possible, and I show them through a free PDF that's possible to attract the woman in their dreams, well, then all of a sudden they're in a relationship or they're trying to look for the girl and they don't know where to find her. They don't know. Now all of a sudden they have all these desires and all these new problems that they now have to solve, which is something I know you really talk about a lot as well. And so I'd really focus and hone in on those things to make sure that the offer just is like, man, it just makes sense for the people.
Mm.
And I would do a lot of joint ventures with those people right before I died to make sure that on that Zoom call, I was seeing those people and I was like, okay, this is what they need. This is what they want. This is the progression. And if I offer this thing, like it just doesn't make any sense not to buy it.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. And what, I guess, what price points would you consider the digital product and high ticket products to be at to make
Yeah,
you
it's a
feel
really good question. So for the digital products, I really would actually go a little bit lower just because of the ease and like I want to just make like not that low, not that high of a barrier of entry. So for me specifically, I would go 997 for my introductory offer,
yeah.
and that's only if I would have a video to be able to explain and like build the value for it beforehand. And I would do $10,000 for sure for the high ticket product.
That's awesome. Okay. 10K, 997. And then, so you put the PDF in front of them. How do you keep it selling like crazy on the after the actual launch? Or is it primarily be through the ads and the content through the different platforms? Is that how
Yeah.
you?
So the big thing again is one, I can empower the people. I would definitely, if I was going to die, I'd want people to carry this legacy. So the way I'd have them carry the legacy is by indoctrinating the people that have already bought to go out there and help other people with the solution that solves the problem because they
You
won't be
do
able to
that
find the
well.
product. So I'd have boots on the ground. I was in network marketing. Like I know how to get boots on the ground and get people to show people how to do stuff and like buy it. So that's definitely something that I would do. I think the biggest thing again is to create something that's such a no-brainer and is so simple and so good and solves such a big problem that people actually want to share it with other people. And
Right.
people actually are searching for this thing and trying to find the very best thing. I think it's simple for me to say, yes, I'd hire the best person with advertising that could pay and sell things. But the biggest thing that I would want to do is to use my social capital to build a lot of hype and excitement and awareness around this thing so that when anyone has a problem in that area, they search for that. They may not need it right now, but before I died, I'd make sure the distribution is there on all type of media, making sure I'm using other people's platforms. I get on all the largest podcasts. I would finagle my way into this so just so that I could spread massive awareness
Mm.
so that people, when they have that problem, will search specifically for my thing because I've been the one who's reached them, given them the content, built the trust with them. And I truly believe that that in itself for a specific product that's irresistible like this would be something that would run on its own.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And so as far as, I mean, you're crushing with the offer, obviously. What would you do to the business to make sure that it's very low management on your side?
That's a really good question as well. I would make sure that one, everything that we do is documented. This is something that we already do. I'd make sure that every single one of our positions and everything that we do is 100% documented. And the exact steps that we take to do everything are also documented as well. So that if someone were to discover our business, it was hidden somewhere and they discovered it, they'd be able to go through everything and run it themselves just by watching how we did everything, if that makes sense.
Totally.
So I would make it super simple. I would make sure that we had someone making sure that, everything worked, obviously. So inside of my business right now, I like to look at it because that's what it would be. Inside of my business right now, I'd make sure that we had people that manage the actual business. And I'd make sure that we had people that were making sure that we were getting the leads. And I make sure that we had people that were making the sales. I make sure we had people that were just creating the fulfillment. And I like the 5 core functions of business that I think Alex Sharfin teaches. I think it's from Scaling Up as well, and probably a
So
million other places.
yeah.
But a lot of times I just act like I made it up. I'm just kidding. But I really look at everything in the form of lead gen, lead nurture, conversion or sales, deliverable, retention, resell, and upsell. And I make sure that we would go through that and that we'd have just a simple way to make sure that we consistently have all those things working together. And that would be the core things that I would focus on.
It's awesome. It's awesome. So then there's a structure behind each one of those. Then you have a product that it's got ads, influencers, but there's a heavy focus. And I've watched you do this a lot. You empower your customers to talk about it, and they want to. It's really quite interesting actually to watch.
I maybe should do this now just to kind of show it, because I feel like it for me it's a feeling, because I can see it without a blindfold, because I'm like, oh, like I see how that will work,
Right.
because one, it's worked for other people before that really are not that good at it, but also it's an offer that's easy to talk about.
Mm.
It's something that a lot of people need help with, and it's not scary to be able to share with someone, and it's very high value. So I'd want to create something that like when people think of something, they think of that thing. So I'm like, my goal before I would die would be able to get the distribution out there to make people think that we were the people that did that thing, so that forever people recognize, like, if we need this, this is where we go and get it. And I'd want
Nicholas
to
is the
own
guy.
that space. And the way I would do it is by straight up just owning it. Like getting on the meet. Like, I can't tell you how much, if you just show up powerfully with your marketing, whether it's written, video, doesn't matter what it is, in person, people only know you from that first impression. So if you say that you know what you're doing and you show that the product does what it's going to do and you're confident in where you're going, people have no clue what else to believe besides that what you're telling is the truth.
Mm.
They don't know that you just started out or you're about to die and you want to launch an evergreen product that's never been proven. Like, they don't know about any of this stuff, right? Like, they do not know. They just know what they hear. And I think that this is why a lot of times we get in our own way, is like we get too familiar with ourselves. We get too familiar with other people, and we only have feedback from people that are so familiar with us. And like, rather than when you go to an event, you step on a stage, those people only know you on the stage.
Right.
So however you show up that day is just what they know. So if you've never done anything in your life before and you step up, and let's say you're selling Steven's product, so you're super confident in what it's going to do, and you sell it as just as he does, like, you're going to sell it.
Yeah.
Because it's an irresistible offer. You have the confidence, and they don't know what else to do besides to listen to you and to believe what you're saying.
Well, yeah, it's true. And that's another thing I've watched you do like crazy and observe you. Um, this is awesome. So you focus on, so just to recap the plan, you go in, and I like that you say that you want to focus on historical issues that are always issues, things that are not like flash in the pan. You got to live off this thing: loneliness, confidence, people's marriage. So then you make that PDF talking about how to find, attract, and date you're the woman of your dreams. And it's a free, awesome thing that you're going to go basically drip in front of influencers and ads and lots of different platforms, potential JVs, builds that list. And then I guess the one question I have is, how will you segment the list between those you're going to sell the digital course to versus the high ticket? Or you just do both on both, for all?
Before I die, I'd really figure out which one is working better.
Sure.
And that's like the biggest thing that I would want to do. But obviously with the digital course, the next step would be to ascend them to the actual physical high ticket offer.
Sure.
And with the people with the high ticket offer, I think the thing that I would do the most is I would focus on, well, one, I would make sure that with the high ticket offer, I'm focusing my copy, my creative, and everything that I'm doing on people that are fast movers now. So I'd really call out bigger issues. I wouldn't call out like, are you looking to do this XYZ? I'd really focus on the people that have an extreme issue and problem.
Mm.
And I'd really call those things out, because I only want people to go to that thing if they're at a place where they're like, I'm ready. Like I'd go after this. I'd be like, are you, you passed 40 and you were like, I can't wait to get married. And then now like you pass 50 and you're like, I feel better. I've lost the weight. Like I've met the people, but like nothing's been happening for you. And everyone just keeps saying like, if you keep working on yourself, then like perfect person will come. But at this point, like if you met anyone your age that can't even have a family,
Right.
like it's not a good place to be.
Right.
And, what I found is from this right here, like I'd really push on that. And so I think that the biggest thing is like for the lower ticket stuff, I'd go to a younger audience that isn't in a place where they're like, I need this thing for the dating stuff. If I were to go into marriage stuff as well, I would definitely go after an older demographic. I would go after people that just had their kids move out of the house. End of story. Your kids just moved out. You and your wife are in a place where like you don't even know each other anymore. You're trying to rekindle the fire, but it seems like it's absolutely impossible. Every single time you talk, it just seems like it goes into an argument. It goes into a place where you guys don't talk to each other for months at a time. And you think it's easier if you just stay quiet. Because if you bring it up, you're just going to get in a fight. But she wonders why you never want to talk to her. And like, I'd really like hit in these things that I already know are an issue that are happening all over the world. And that's like, as soon as people are empty nesters, boom, that's a place where they're like vulnerable again. They don't know what to do. They're in a big transition. They just went through like 20 plus years of having kids in the house and now they're gone. They're trying to discover how they can be married again. But those are the people that have the money and those are the people that would want to buy a high ticket offer.
It's powerful, man. It's super powerful. Dude, where can people find you, follow you, jump out and grab your stuff?
Absolutely, man. So Instagram, Nicolas Bayerle is amazing. And then also for the men out there, which I know that a lot of marketers are men anyway. Sorry for the women out there. You can follow me on Instagram though. Say hi. I'll say hi back. The $1 Billion Brotherhood on Facebook is really amazing. It just allows you, especially if you're a business owner, there's other business owners in there that probably need what you have. And they're more inclined to want to work with someone that's like inside of the Brotherhood. So we have 2,800 other guys in there. If you just say my name, they'll let you in.
That's awesome, man. Thank you so much again and appreciate it. And I'm really big into modeling and modeling people, right? Modeling, hey, I'm going to go model that successful person. And when it comes to marriage, and hopefully it's cool for me to say this, but like you and your wife are the ones, you're amongst the couples where I've been like, you know what? It'd be cool to be like that, and I appreciate what you guys are doing in this world. It's been amazing. So thanks so much for taking the time and what you guys do.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. And now I got to tell my wife that we got to go create this marriage offer and dating offer.
It's awesome, man.